Hello, everybody. That was not pretty, but we got the 3 points. I certainly wouldn't be having a kind of half smile on my face if that had went any other way. But we done it. We won. It's been a while, actually, hasn't it, since we won a game. So it's good to get that win and feeling back. However, we got it, and we'll go in and discuss all that as well. I'm joined by Connor and Kerr. Gentlemen, hello. Hello to everybody watching. If you haven't already, and I say it every week, but if you haven't already, whatever you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, please do like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. It really does mean a lot. Get your comments in as well, and I will try and get as many comments in as I can. Probably the shortest intro I've done, Connor, but we'll just jump straight into that game. St Mirren 1, Rangers 2. I can't find the comment, but it summed it up perfectly. An ugly win, but a massive 3 points.
Yeah, pretty much. About as ugly as it gets, really, that one. I mean, yet again, honestly, can we actually start a game without nearly conceding a goal in the first minute? Because it seems like after the Celtic game, when we did actually concede, every game since then, we're gifting a ridiculous chance early on in the game. I mean, I said to you before we come on, I was getting deja vu for what happened against County, and then obviously even Dundee game, they had a massive chance that early in the game. We need to stop that nonsense. And unfortunately, again, it was Tav caught sleeping. I mean, it was, we've got to be starting games sharper than that and be ready for, to go. But listen, the 3 points is the most important thing at this point of the season. You've got to just keep picking up the points and hope amongst hope that somewhere down the line they slip up. But I'll tell you now, that performance there isn't getting us a win at Parkhead. It isn't getting us a win at Tynecastle either, where we've got to go to. So we really do need to, somehow find that gear where we're in at the first sort of spell when Clermont first came in and we went on that run. We need to find some of that form going forward because, got away with one today in a lot of aspects. We've got a lot to thank big Super Jack Butland for. And I think most days are just relieved that we actually got the 3 points and we can move on for it.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that, right? And Kerry's Bluebell's saying 3 points and up the road, and I get that. And I can already see, and by the way, I read all the comments on the videos after it's went live, so the comments under the video on YouTube. And quite often, Kerr, myself, probably you, Connor, probably everybody, we get pulled up for being too negative, especially after a win on here, right? And in some cases, I can understand that and I can appreciate that because in the league, there's 4 games to go. We're level on points for them now before they play today. So any slip-ups for them, then it's back in our hands, right? So I completely understand that. But the performances that we've seen in the last 5 or 6 games, I don't know how we can sit here and be confident. And we can be happy that we won today. We can be happy that we got the 3 points. But looking at that performance, you're looking at the games ahead, like Connor says, and there's just no confidence within the support.
There isn't, Martin, but that comes for the player and it comes for the manager. Like you said earlier, Command, he's done really well, but it's probably since the Motherwell game, they've been right off the boil. Personally, I just think some of the players, they've got limitations, the quality's poor, they don't like pressure situations, and some of them can hide, some of them come to the forefront, but not many. But we struggle through, we're in a position where we are due to the fact that we bit of good fortune today, but Celtic had a bit of a poor run, so I kind of, not recently, but had a poor run to bring us back into this. So, and at this time of the season, like the comments said earlier, take your 3 points and go up the road. But watching that game, it was tough because there's not many games left, and I didn't see how we were going to win the day. Honestly, I thought someone were going to sneak it because I thought they were the team that looked like they had the ascendancy. They were up for it. They looked like they were trying to get a second goal, Connor mentioned Jack Butland saved us 3 or 4 times. I just didn't see where the goal was coming from as a day. Maybe 1 or 2 were trying. Thought Todd Campbell did a decent match. He was trying to create. He was quite productive at times, but I thought he lacked support from all areas of the park. But we managed to get the 3 points, and sometimes you can think, put that behind us and move on. But with these players, any pressure on them, some of them don't like it, and that kind of alluded to the chances early on in games. That doesn't happen like once or twice, or every so often. It's happened constantly because teams know they come out the tracks fast at a start of game and put us under pressure. We panic. And we panic badly. And if we're up against a team with better opposition, we wouldn't win the day. But it just shows you all these strikers in SPL like Mandron, the boy at Motherwell, any physicality from them, we struggle. We struggle badly with balls between the centre backs and vice versa. But there's not a. But I still sit here and think we'll win the Scottish Cup. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we can give good performances one off, but it's consistency with these players. They seem to let us down when we get behind them. I think that's what it's like. But listen, it was a tough watch. But like the guy said, 3 points, not the road. So look forward to the next game.
Yeah, but it's 3 points and up the road. But there's 2 comments I'm going to pull up here, which is probably where I'm at, Connor. Right, Robert, how you doing, buddy? We don't look like a team going for a title, right? Which is the way that it felt today. What I think I tweeted out as well during the game that the Rangers players looked happy with a draw. There was no urgency, there was no passion, there was no style of play. They just looked happy with what they had, and going along with what Kerr said, I didn't see where a goal was coming from because we didn't look like getting the ball anywhere near Dessers. And a super chat for Led Zapaldo. If you take the 3 points and up the road attitude, you better prepare yourself for disappointment. Thanks for the support, Led, as well. And again, I take the point that we won and there's 4 games to go. And if that was like Kerr says, if that had happened 2 or 3 times throughout the season, a performance like that, right, we'd be sitting here going, oh, by the way, we didn't play well today, but we got the 3 points. That's massive. I'm absolutely delighted. But that's the way we're playing all the time now.
It is. And I mean, look, firstly, I get what Led Zapaldo's saying there, but what else are you supposed to do to react to a game like today? Look, you're not going to win every game you go away from home or at home 4, 5, 6. No, it's not going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get games where you go, do you know what? Just get up the road and get 3 points.
But Led's point is the same as mine, Connor. The performances like today have been happening for the last 5 or 6 weeks. And if you're relying on these players for the final 4 games of the season, including a trip to Parkhead, then prepare yourself for disappointment.
Oh, no, and absolutely. And I was going to come on to that, and I did say that earlier as well. That performance won't get you a win at Parkhead. It won't get you a win at Tynecastle either. Or in other games, even next week against Kelly. Yes, it's a home game, but tricky opponent. Come on. So I totally take that on board, and I agree with that. I'm just making the point, yes, we're going to dissect it all, and yes, there's a disappointment in terms of performance levels, but we also can't come on here and go, isn't it shite that we won 2-1? I mean, there has to be a balance. We did get the 3 points at the end of the day, and now we have to look at where we can improve going forward. Is there any more to be got out of this team? If you come on, is there more changes to come? I don't know. But it does absolutely have to be better. And again, when it comes to seeing a goal coming, I totally agree with both of you saying there. I couldn't see where a goal was coming either. And if we're being brutally honest here, both goals come for partially good crosses into the box, partially mistakes for St Mirren defensively. The first one, the goalkeeper, I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't need to go for it. It's gone out. It's overhit the cross. It's only because he gets his hand to it that keeps it in. And fair play to Diamandi. That's a terrific header. That header's at that angle. That header's actually going in if it isn't touched by the defender anyway. That's how good a header that is. So credit where it's due to Diamandi for that. But again, the keeper does them, and then the second goal's the same. Again, it's a good cross. Dessers takes it well, but Kane Hemming comes out, and him and Bolton, who scored the own goal, collide with each other, and you can't miss for there. I'd have scored that header for there at that point because it's an open goal. So that is true. We did get that wee rub of the green there the day that we needed to get it. And it's not good enough, and we're going to have to... It's not just that. It's when you're in these games and you get chances as well that you can convert and do better. We need to be more clinical, because there were moments today where we could have actually had 3 or 4 goals if we were more clinical. I mean, Cantwell, he's probably unlucky with his first one, to be fair to him. The second one, he's got to do a bit better for me, because he's caught it just purely straight with the side foot when he's obviously trying to bend it into the corner. And then obviously Lawrence at the end, which we'll come on to later, clearly that should be a third goal and game done. So that's the part as well. You need to be ready. Sometimes you're not playing well. When you do get a chance, you've got to take them. Because as long as it was only ever win that day, even at the end, they get a cross in the box and it drops, and you're thinking, oh my God, somebody's getting on the end of this. Thankfully, it's cleared. You've got Balogun, who, fair play to him, I know he might get some stick for their goal, but he makes an unbelievable tackle in Olisanya towards the end to get that big leg round there and block it. And Barisic actually had 1 or 2 decent tackles as well. And that shouldn't be happening. They were the ones who looked at scoring. They were the ones who looked, every time they went forward, it looked like we were frantic trying to clear it. There was no calmness in there. And that was the issue. So absolutely, performance-wise, not good enough again. But at least in this occasion, we've got away with it. And hopefully we can move into next week and see a much better performance at Ibrox, because we've not actually played a home game in a while.
No, we haven't. No, we absolutely haven't. Craig, I'll come to your super chat a wee bit later on in the show. Stephen's saying, to be fair, Martin, we had loads of these games back in the 90s, played badly and took the 3 points. The problem is, the majority of these games that we're playing badly, we're not taking the 3 points, unlike today. David Peace saying, look, the standards have fallen on and off the pitch over the years. I mean, that's a podcast, a conversation, a show, all on itself. And Kerr, Aldo, channel member, Tav is a 60-second bomb scare. That is 4 league games in a row that he's effed up in the first minute. And that's a fair point. It seems to be a running theme with Tav.
It does, Martin. I don't know if is he nervous? Is he not paying attention? Is his mindset switched off somewhere else? I've not got a clue. But as soon as that whistle goes, he's got to be on his toes. He's got to be ready for whatever happens. But for some reason, he's not. And teams will smell that. And it's not just like it happened against Celtic. Every team go towards him because they know it's a mistake there. I know Balogun done a couple of good tackles a day, especially at the end. But he's recovered for himself making a mistake. And that's the difference. That's probably why he's here, because he's got a better recovery pace, and so that'll help him out. But you can't constantly keep saying about Balogun he's recovering greatly because he's making the mistakes in the first place. But we know what Tav's like defensively. We spoke about it on this pod in the last 3 years, and probably been speaking about it longer than that since he came into the club. But it's just the mindset of these guys, Martin. It's when they turn up. I think a lot of them look nervous. They look nervous to make a mistake, and that's, you know yourself, if you're nervous to make a mistake, that's when you do it, because you're scared. You're scared of having the ball at your feet, so maybe taking an extra touch, or the pass is over hit, or the pass is under hit, and they're just maybe not paying attention as much because you hide, basically. And I think teams sense that with us. You've seen it with Ross County ran through us, like, I don't know, it was far too easy running through us, very easy, like running through, it was like water going through us, and then D were roughly the same. St Mirren, the Dayma, they've done the same, and it's the same players, same issues, and the manager's got to address that in the summer. But he has to switch up. I know he's done a wee bit with bringing Balogun back. There's still issues there, and it's not just the defenders. It's front, middle, and back. But Tav's got to be more switched on, because you have to look at a lot of the Old Firm games, and he's the one that's always getting targeted. He's great going forward, but defensively, he does have limitations.
No, listen, he absolutely does. But it's criminal, Connor, again, to almost be caught out in the opening seconds of the game when you're trying to pass across a defender, who, by the way, he's seen and he actually knows the defender's there this time. It's not like Maeda, where he had absolutely no idea where he was. He's still trying to play a dangerous ball in the opening seconds of a game when confidence is low throughout the whole team. And I don't know whether he didn't have the angle to get enough power to put it back to Butland, but see if that's the case, just put it out the park. Just don't take any chances.
Well, exactly. I cannot understand why, having made the mistake he did in the Old Firm, the same mistake and conceding a goal from it in that occasion when he hits it off Maida, why he insists on still doing that there. I really can't get it. You know, boot it out into Rose Head if you have to, regroup, get back in, or just tap it back to Butland. I don't know why he's trying to go across. It's bizarre. But then I have to question as well. We are sitting here saying we've seen this now 3-4 games in a row. So Philip, come on, he must be seeing it all. So why is he not on the training ground hammering that into these players? I'd be doing drills with Tav and the other defenders like that, replicating those starts to the game and making sure they're getting better starts. They are sharper, and making sure that when those situations happen, they're understanding, you know, to clear that ball. Now, you should get that anyway, but you would at least think, at least once you would do a drill to go, right, this isn't good enough, lads. We're getting caught time and time again in the first minute of these games. That has to stop. And you better that. So there's that aspect to it as well. Because let's be honest, Tav is going to play every game between now and the end of the season. There's no question about that. Unless he somehow gets injured, he'll be playing. And personally, I think he probably should be. I don't see who you would drop him for. But we have got to be better. But it looks like, do you know what it looks like? It looks like we're so nervous. Where it's this point in the game where we've dropped a couple of points recently, and it seems as though the players are starting to, you know, just curl back up in themselves into this panic mode, this nervousness about, you know, everything has to be harder than it actually should be. Whereas when Columbus came in, it was smoother, you know, even going forward. We weren't making as many touches and passes to try and get through. And it makes everything so much more difficult on you, especially when you get off the starts of that, because that shakes you straight away. You've already made a mistake and got away with it. You know, so it has to be better.
It does. And look, Robert's also got a point. You know, he gets the assist for the winner, which we'll come on and we'll speak about in a wee bit. And by the way, Charles, I've got your super chat there, buddy. We're bringing that up very, very shortly. You can't drop him for that reason alone. He's too heavily relied on in the forward areas still, which I completely agree with, Keir. He's probably one of our most attacking players today. So I'm not having a go at Tav in any way, shape or form for what he's done for us going forward. It's just simply making the point that I don't know if at his age he can now, but he's got to do better in situations like that. That's still the point I'm making.
Yeah, Martin, it has to be. I think the experience he's got now, he maybe cut some of these mistakes out, but he doesn't. But obviously, it's just the way he plays, and it's what you get with Tav nowadays. But I'm not kind of saying drill them and train them, but sometimes these players are that experience. They don't change. I mean, no dog you say don't change his sports, whatever the saying is, but Tav's like that. He knows what he's good at. He knows what he isn't good at, and he's always going to play, isn't he? Because there's nobody else to put him in there unless you bring somebody else in. So I just think it's one of the things, but it has to improve. But I think maybe that's the reason he put Seamer out right side in a few games. I think Seamer's pace coming back just helped him out a lot. But it's the start of a game. We have to be more swift on at the start of the game, because we do put ourselves under pressure for the first 5, 10, 50 minutes of a game. And if we do concede, then it backs against the wall, because these players revert to type and hide. And this is the guys we know. This is the character we know these champs for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, some of them. So it's not like it's new to us, but maybe the manager still thinks he can trust some of them because they've done well since he's come through the door. But if he does that, then he's back in the wrong horse, I'm afraid.
Did I miss my internet dropped out there? Did I miss another famous Kerr saying? Robert Clark, what was that saying, Kerr? I think I've missed another one. I'll need to go back and watch it. And unless you quickly spoke about somebody else. No, see, you're on mute. Curry's saying, can someone tell me exactly how he contributed towards attacking today's game? Well, he
yes,
he got
exactly. He got the assist for the winner
when it didn't look like that was going to happen. Like I say, Charles, I've got your super chat. I'll come on in a wee second. Firstly, let's touch on the first goal. Then, Connor, you kind of mentioned it. Again, there was a couple of things before that where the keeper made a couple of decent saves, but I'm thinking to myself, he's just trying to do this for the camera, because he was a bit overzealous in a couple of his saves, and I'm like that. See, we need to keep at him. We need to keep hitting him. And then for some unknown reason, I mean, I could tell that ball was flying out for a goal kick. I don't know how he can it, but that's as good as Diamandi's header was, which was fantastic. That's all on the goalkeeper.
100% it is. I mean, Diamandi doesn't get a chance to make the header if the goalkeeper doesn't try and save it. And it's one of those ones, I mean, look, I can tell you, as a goalkeeper myself, sometimes when a ball comes into the box, obviously you can't see what's behind you. And sometimes you're maybe just slightly off with your position, so you're not sure, and you might go, right, just take the safe option and just get a hand on it and clear it. But that wasn't one of those occasions because it was so blatantly wide. It was nowhere near his goal frame. He didn't have to do anything. You can see how high he's actually had to jump to get it as well. So I don't know what he's doing. Maybe it is, as you're saying, maybe there's a part of, playing up to the cameras, a bit of showmanship he's trying to put on, which does happen. They don't get televised games every week, St Mirren, apart from obviously the highlights. So I can see maybe why you'd think that. But
if you're Stevie Robinson, but Connor, you're raging at that,
Oh, fuming, absolutely fuming, because he's no need to do it whatsoever. And even then, I think, there's other aspects of it where, again, it's a great header for Diamandi that is actually going to go in without a touch, which almost I feel sorry for him for, because he's robbed of what would have been just an unbelievable goal for that angle with a header. But even then, you'd probably have to question not just the keeper, but why is Diamandi somehow found himself with the freedom of St Mirren Park there to get that header back across, because there was no pressure in the header because nobody's went to him. Now that's possibly because nobody's thought the keeper's going to touch it, but I know it's poor goalkeeping. And to be fair, at that point, the only way we were going to get a goal was either by a wonder strike, of which Lundstrom had a couple of half decent efforts, or a massive mistake and a slice of luck like that.
I think we were still slightly the better team up until that point, to be honest.
We were, but we didn't.
It wasn't a great game.
His chances.
No, it wasn't a great game to be fair, but we're probably still the better team in Kerr. Then you're thinking, hey, we've got a bit of luck, we've got the goal. Hopefully that settles the nerves. And then about 2 minutes later, it's one each. And Charles, thank you very much for the support, buddy. I've got your other two super chats here that I'll bring up in a wee bit. But Balogun ball watching, too easily brushed aside. And then, of course, the Lawrence miss should have 100% been a goal. But they equalise, and we have spoke so much, Kerr, about the defence, and we were all shouting for Balogun to come back in. I would imagine when we seen the lineups, we were happy that Goldson was still on the bench. I mean, I don't think I'd be out of place to say that. Balogun's poor for that goal.
He is poor, he knows that himself. He get brushed aside and manned on far too easy. But see, if you look at it, they could have stepped forward before the ball was played in there and had been offside anyway. But they're not switched on enough. I mean, the four of them aren't switched on together. And Balogun gets brushed aside. Mandolin does really well with the header, I have to say. Put a lot of power in it, and it's the only place he could have probably went to beat Jack Butland. And I know a few people think he probably could have saved it, and I'm not a goalkeeper, but I thought it was a great header, and Butland's didn't have a chance where the ball was put. That came off the post and in it. So, but Balogun has to do better. But how many times have you seen that with any centre backs that get brushed off the ball very easily, a ball or a high ball over the top, or a free kick, corner, whatever? But they stand and watch, and they don't react until it's too late. And you see a little bit Balogun, his recovery pace is good, but it's many times has to do with recovery pace. That's why he makes mistakes. Suter's the same, he can make a mistake. We know Connor Goldson make mistakes, and Ben Davis is that far out the squad, we don't even know where he is. So it's just one of the things, Martin. He's trying to pick guys who seem to play well together. And to be honest with you, both of them done okay against Hearts, and they've done okay at times today, but the high balls and just as a physicality with any centre forward, they do struggle. But Balogun has to do better, especially because he is good in there, Balogun. It's not like he's bad in there, but he just has to do better.
It was almost as if he lost a player, wasn't it? That's kind of what it felt like. He'd lost a player when the ball was coming in. And I mean, Connor, I hate to praise other teams, but I think you have to when you have to. And it is a fantastic header. And Butland was superb, and we'll certainly come on and speak about the man. And like Kerr says, that's the only place you can put that to beat him. And sometimes you just need to hold your hands up and go, that's great striker play.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, there's nothing Butland can do about that. It's, about as far into corners as you can get. You know, he comes off the post and goes in, so he can't do anything about it. And it is good striker playing, to be fair. Mandron deserved a goal. You've got to say, you know, fair play to the lad, because I thought he had a real good game, particularly in the first half, because before that header he actually had 3 or 4 really good opportunities prior to that, and he got his just rewards with a goal. I do think that I agree in the point about Balogun, but I also just think when I watched it back, I couldn't help but think, as the cross is coming in, the defensive line just seems slightly too deep. I feel like if they step up just a bit together, then Mandron's offside, so it wouldn't count. But they don't, and they're just sitting.
But that's a team thing, surely. That's not a Balogun thing.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm sort of putting slight mitigation for Balogun, because although I agree with the point that he's certainly not covered himself in glory with, I think as a team we didn't, because again that line should be better. And obviously, you know, that's the kind of thing there isn't any excuse for, because that is the kind of basic stuff you do work on in training. You work on set pieces and defending them and attacking them. That's, you know, so they should do that better. But at that point, you're thinking, well, you're annoyed that they've equalised, but if you're being honest and taking the blue tinted specs off for a second, they did deserve to be level at that point, because we were nowhere near it at all, and were, you know, got slightly fortuitous to get in front. So they done well to get the goal.
They did. And this is probably the best way to sum it up for me, Kerr, after that. And I'm going to come to the Silva possible penalty, maybe not, in a wee minute, right? But after that, right up basically probably until we scored, I think Gary Gray hits the nail on the head. We've no controlling games. It's up and down like a basketball match, very high risk. Why is that? Why do we have no controlling games? Because surely we have the players, regardless of whether we think they're good enough to go on and win stuff, right? Albeit we've won the League Cup, but whether they're good enough to go on and win the league and then win the Scottish Cup, win a treble, whatever. Why do they not seem to be good enough to just grab the game by the scruff of the neck?
I just think it's down to quality, Martin. I don't think they've got enough quality in the side, especially middle of the park. Diamandi does okay, Diamandi does okay for me. He's got legs, he's quite dynamic getting forward, but his awareness isn't great at times, and his ball control, ball retention is no great. Lundstrom does okay as well, but he's not a guy you want in the middle of your park controlling stuff. He doesn't do it enough for me. Or it's side to side, backwards, he doesn't drive the ball, just because John's not got the legs to get up and down the park. And he knows himself he hasn't, so he drives to a point, and I know he had a couple of shots and that, but John Lundstrom, he does okay, but we need better. And Sterling, I thought he was poor right-sided. I thought he was better last week at left back. I thought he got forward a lot better. I thought he was involved more in the game, but I don't know what it is. I thought the ball retention for our players is poor in general. But when we do play it, like we did a couple of moves today where urgency was a bit higher and we passed the ball well when the players moved on it and then they were passing and we nearly got a goal out of it, and you think there's something there. But then we revert back to the slow, predictable stuff, and it lets teams come on to you, and then when they come on to you and make a mistake, or they go long and they get it back, and it's, I don't know what the structure is. I know managers mentioned it, but I don't know what it is, because we've seen us play really well, but consistency, we don't do it enough. And I think a lot of it is down to the squad makeup, a lot of it is down to these players, and the manager has got his work cut out, but the manager has to take a lot of blame for the way we're playing at the moment as well.
I mean, and Alex Miller's making the point, Connor, still not asking in the middle of the park, and I think it's blatantly obvious to see that we are struggling in the middle of the pitch, but he doesn't move away from Lundstrom or Diomande when he's fit, nor he should move away from Diomande, in my opinion, because I think he's shown that he's probably one of our best players, to be fair. But Raskin's still not even getting a sniff. And can I just say quickly before you come in, Connor, Paul, I've got your comment on Butland. We will certainly bring that up as well. And Charles, I'll still bring your 2 super chats up shortly.
Yeah, I think the issue is I don't think he trusts Raskin though either to come in and really change much, because
he's not really given him a chance though, Connor, has he? Well,
I know, but when he came back for his injury, Raskin, he did get a few games and he didn't really do much in them. I thought, you know, he come on last week and done okay, but he's not. I agree, he's maybe not been given the chance that he should be. I think the challenge is, as you say, he wouldn't drop Diamande, so then you're looking at, well, are you dropping Lundstrom for Raskin? Are you dropping Cantwell? I mean, you certainly wouldn't be dropping Cantwell because he's one of the few who's actually playing quite well at the moment. So, yeah, possibly Lundstrom, because I do feel like with the treatment that Goldson's got, surely Lundstrom should come into that conversation, because for me, yeah, he said moments, fits and starts in games, but when was the last time he put in a proper 90-minute solid performance? Even a full 45-minute one, there's a lot of sloppiness coming from him in recent weeks, and maybe dropping him for a game and bringing Raskin in maybe wouldn't be a bad idea. To give Raskin a chance and to give Lundstrom a bit of a rest as well, because maybe fatigue's part of it. I mean, he's been asked to play every bloody week, so maybe he's just knackered, and that's why he's making so many mistakes. So, I'd be up for giving him the chance. I'm just conscious that he's chopped and changed the team so often since he came in the door, particularly in recent times, trying to find that formula that's going to click us into gear. I don't know if that will do it, but certainly, Raskin wouldn't be a bad shout. He deserves to get some game time between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, maybe we'll wait and see what the manager does with that, of course. Kerr, should Fabio Silva have had a penalty? And this is racking my because I'm like that. Was it first half? Was it second half? No, it was the first half. Should Fabio Silva had a penalty in the first half? Was it a body check by Gogic? Could Gogic not really go anywhere? Is it a foul? Is it a penalty? Is it not? For you?
It's one of the ones, Martin, where if that's in the middle of the park, he probably stops it for a free kick. We've seen it a couple of times after that, at similar situations, he stops it. But looking through it, for me, it's not a penalty, but that's just my opinion. But I can see why he would have gave it as well, just the way football's going and stuff like that. You can't even Jack Butland get a yellow card for no reason whatsoever. Later on in the match, didn't a free kick given against him. So I can see an issue where he gave it and you think, well, VAR's looked at it and had a penalty, but for me, no. I just think Gogic is nowhere to go, and Silva knows that, and I just think he goes down. I don't think he dies, but I just think he goes down. To me, there's nothing in it, but if it was given, I could say, well, that's where football is going nowadays. It's not that I try to take a physicality for the game at times, so I can look at it both ways, but just my opinion, it's not a penalty.
The reason I don't think it's a penalty is because when it happened, I looked at it and I didn't know. I'm looking at it, and obviously my blue tinted specs on, my blue brain is trying to convince me that it's 100% a penalty, but I'm looking at it going, I don't think so. I don't know, which says to me that it's probably, in my eyes anyway, it's not a penalty. And CGM saying Connor Silva doesn't get a pen, but Dessers gets a foul later on in the game. Same tackles. For me, they're totally different tackles. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Usually I am, Connor, let's be honest. But the Silva one, kind of Gogic just stands there and he knows what he's doing. I think that's obvious. He knows what he's doing. But Silva's that close to him that he probably knows he'll get away with it. Whereas with the Dessers one, he lifts his leg and kind of hits him with his leg. And that's, for me, why that's a foul and why the Silva one isn't a penalty.
100%. That's exactly why that is the case. He's just standing there with the Silva one. And Silva's momentum sort of takes him into him. They're coming together, nothing more. Not a penalty, not a dive. The Dessers one he does actively step into and make an attempt to bring Dessers down, which he does. I must say, with that free kick, I did think he was lucky to only get a booking, actually, because I tell you now, for me, you look at the position of the other defender. I get it, he's not the last defender, and that's why it's only a booking, but where Bolton, I think it is he's not stopping Dessers getting a shot away if he's past Gogic there. Bolton, he's not, because he's too far away. So when Gogic brings him down, he has stopped Dessers for having a goal scoring opportunity, because he will get a shot. Whether he scores it or not, I mean, it's Dessers, and maybe that's what Nick Walsh was thinking. I don't know. But in my mind, I'm going, well, I tell you, it's a fine line there. I think, okay, fair enough, it was probably just about right, but I tell you, there's other referees might actually have given him a red for that, because he did stop the opportunity. I'm not saying it is a red. I don't think it is a red.
It's not a red.
But
It's not.
he's very lucky that Bolton's just behind him, because if Bolton's in front of him, he would be getting a red.
Maybe aye, but the referee did make a couple of strange decisions the day, and we will come on to one in a minute. But I want to get to these two super chats from Charles, and the first one I'm going to bring up here, and again, Charles, thank every single show you're showing support, so thank you very much. Fabio like a man down for me here. I'm finding it increasingly more difficult to disagree with that. He shows that, for me, he shows that he cares. He shows that he wants to do well, but nothing really seems to come off for him. And I don't really think he's making any impact in games, or am I completely off the mark?
No, he's not making an impact at all. Martin, probably the opposite. He's probably more on the other teams getting up against it because of what he's doing. But us, we all know he's a talented boy. We can talk about the price that Wolves pay for him, blah, blah, blah. But we know he's got talent. He's still young. I just feel playing in Scotland will probably benefit him when he moves away from here. I don't think he's suited to the way we play. I don't think he's suited to the league. And I kind of agree with Charles. At the moment in time, when you've been starting 11 for me, I don't think he's offering enough. And I think, come on, let's just see that and change it up a bit, because going forward, he's poor, but defensively he's worse. So taking everything into consideration, he should be in the bench, because he's not really put in performances to warrant a starting place.
I know. And channel member Jim Sloan, he's normally always got my back as well. But no, you're right, Martin, you're wrong again. And I'll take Jim's word for it, because most of the comments that Jim puts in, he's far more intelligent than me. So I will simply leave that there. There's other super chat, Charles, and then while you answer this, Connor, I'm going to have a wee look just to see if any of the interviews have been released. But before I come to that, before I come to Charles, and before you answer, we have restarted our members only shows every Thursday at 7:30, which will run right through, and obviously until the end of the season, and we'll run right through the close season, the post season, whatever you want to call it, right into the start of next season. So that'll be live every Thursday at 7:30 right here on YouTube. If you are a member, if you are not a member and you fancy it, then if you're on a computer, click the join button below this wee screen that you see now. If you're using mobile, go into the description of this video and you can click the link to become a member. It's £2 a month, $1.99 a month to be a member of the Rabble, to get that extra show and to help support the podcast as we try and grow. Right, Connor, Charles's third super chat. Borna did job today, no complaints. Please discuss.
Yeah, he did.
That's some podcast answer that, by the way. That was superb.
Listen, that's better than anything you get in Sky Sports, I can tell you. No, he did. Listen, he didn't put a foot wrong today. Probably a more solid performance than we've seen in a while. I mentioned it earlier. He showed some good moments, good tackles. There was the one down the line where I can't remember, it was Strain or whatever it was, when he does get into the box and Barisic recovers well, because he is turned on that side, but he manages to recover and makes a brilliant tackle, well timed. And yeah, I thought he had a real decent game today. I mean, look, I still think his time at Rangers is coming to an end, but yeah, he had a decent game. And if he can do that more, and get decent games out of him, then fine. Because I think Ridvan, I think he's back in training this week, but I would be amazed if he gets anywhere near the squad for the game next weekend against Kelly. So you're looking at probably the game after that when Ridvan might come back. So you might have to put Barisic back in there again and keep Sterling further up the pitch. And if he performs like that, more than happy, because he did do his job. And that, I think Charles is pretty much bang on.
I mean, I don't know if I 100% agree with that, Kerr. And while you're making the point, well, he's saying that Borna done well, went off injured. It's just typical Borna, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
It takes Kerr about 45 minutes to get off mute, doesn't it?
I pressed it twice, and no enough. What chance you got? Listen, I thought he'd done okay. Listen, we all know Borner's leaving at the end of the season. We all know he's away to Turkey by all accounts. So, but I thought he'd done okay. He didn't really put a foot wrong. He was involved in the first goal. He put a few good crosses into the box, but we didn't really attack. And Connor said he put in a few decent tackles. He never lost his marker at any time. And I thought he'd done okay. I mean, yeah, he went off injured, but you know that comes at the end of the games now with Borner, don't we? At about 65, 70 minutes, he seems to break down, but he didn't do anything wrong for me. Listen, we'll be happy he's thank him for his service at the club, but we need fresh players, and Borner knows that, we know that, but I didn't think he let us down. I know he's a whipping boy at times, but he didn't do nothing wrong a day for me.
Sorry, I was just doing a care. They're coming off mute. Right, okay. Let's hear for the manager now. This is only 1 minute and 17 seconds. So I don't know whether this is just a clip of what the manager said. I do hope it's his full presser after the game. But this is the manager, Philip Clement, talking to Sky Sports.
What's the overriding feeling after that one?
That you need to take the 3 points, what we did, and it's a difficult place to come to. They have nothing to lose anymore. Their season is already a success, and they go full in the fight. It was in moments also a fight and not football enough, maybe, but we get the chances also to score more goals. They get chances. Jack saved also a few good balls, but at the end it's about winning. And this period of the season, it's decisive about taking 3 points, and we focus on that. So we took the 3 points, and that's the most important thing.
When you look at the two ends of the pitch, Cyril Desser's 20th goal, the fans are singing Jack Butland's name at the other end. How important could those two be in this run-in?
I think if you want to win trophies, you need a good goalkeeper and a good striker who scores enough goals. That's in every team in the world the same. There are maybe some exceptions that you score less with a striker. What we've been doing also, it's not only Cyril scoring goals, but he took already 20. So that's a good amount, but all the team has been scoring. So that's important. We're not only focused on Cyril about scoring goals. He needs to do other things also.
I mean, I think we've only got 3 players in double figures. So we might, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are in terms of goal scorers. But I'm pretty sure we've only got 3 in double figures, and one of them's been out injured for most of the season. And Abdallah Sima, I think he's on 16. Tavernier's on 24, and I think Desser's obviously on 20. But look, Connor, I suppose maybe as supporters, maybe doing podcasts starts to change your mentality, because as the manager is right at this point of the season, it is about winning.
Yeah, well, it is about winning, absolutely. And you know, making that point earlier, when the super chatter said about the whole 3 points and up the road mentality. But yes, it is about winning. Of course, the most important thing is you get 3 points, and you have to remember that, because there's a wave of negativity, you know, about the performance, and not enough about the fact that, you know what, we did win the game. You'd be forgiven for thinking we didn't, but we did. The problem is that you won't win the games we need to win, because we need to win every game, and you won't win every game if your mentality is, as long as we just get the job. You can't grind out a result every week. You know, eventually you're going to have to put in a better performance and win by 2 or 3 goals and just be a bit more comfortable. Even that, I'm not saying that we need to be scoring 4, 5, 6 goals, but being more comfortable, be more in control of the ball, keep clean sheets. You know, we're struggling big time to do that. The only time obviously we did the weekend there and against us, but the only time we did in the league recently, we didn't even score either in that game, and we drew nothing each. So that's what happens if you don't step up, you know. So winning is a huge factor. I think somebody's just made a great point in the comment there about the goal difference. That's the other issue, because it's unless they slip up elsewhere, even if we beat them at Parkhead, it will come down to goal difference. And if we lose this league because we've not scored enough goals, I mean, you know, that in itself is an issue. So let's go to think of that aspect of it as well. Points first and foremost, but also you need to start adding goals as well.
You really do. Yeah, you really do. And he mentioned the goalkeeper care. You need a good goalkeeper and a good striker to win a league, with very few exceptions. Jack Butland again today. I mean, Kerr. What else can you say about the guy? He's pulled off possibly save of the season, and he's kept us in that game. He's just extraordinary.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's done it this season, Martin, but the save today from the lad Bolton was superb. It was, he was going the opposite direction, he put his hand out and got his hand taken, saves it. I think I thought it was in. I think this umpires all thought it was in because he's seen Gogic give him a slap in the back to say that was save basically. But that's how well he's done. The save percentage for last season is up because of Jack Butland. Last season it wasn't as high as it is this season, and you can't really say anything about him. I thought it went through a wee spell of 3 or 4 games. It was feeling a bit more panicky, but I suppose if you beat the defenders in front of you, you're going to feel panicky. But listen, he's been superb since you signed him in the summer, and what a signing. Do you know what I mean? We were looking for, we've also had a long one of good goalkeepers at Rangers, and Jack Butland just another one to that list. But the Manuel manager mentioned strikers, but we need to be scoring more goals. But I will add at this end of the season, it's a business end of the season. You need the points on the performances. And I got up. Granted, we all want everything. We want to play well. We want to look good, and we want to win comfortably. That's not happening at this moment in time. But to still be where we are, you have to look at it. We have to look at the positives at times, because I'm fed up looking at the negatives. Because we look at them far too much. I think the manager just saying, well, we won the day, it's 3 points, another game down, take it for there. Because I think in the summer there might be hopefully the more outgoings, and we think, and maybe a good few in. But the day squad of players he's got, it's just 3 points. I know a lot of don't like to see it, but we want it in the next game. We hopefully put in a better performance. But the day we scored 2 goals and Jack Butland saved us basically at times, so we have to be happy with that, Martin, because you know yourself, go on this pod and we all sit and look at negatives constantly. Because as a fan, you do that constantly. You even get fans of other teams, and I'm just going to look at Liverpool, for example, yesterday with Klopp and Salah, and that's been made out of this big thing. But Liverpool have performed really well since he's been there. Salah's probably one of the best players I've ever had, and even that is blowing up. So as a fan, you always look for negatives because we thrive off it. The media thrive off it, and shows like us thrive off it because it gives us more to talk about, and we get more viewers. So I'm just happy with 3 points. I'm not happy with performance, but I'm happy with 3 points.
It's the sad nature of media that, you know, negativity sells. Unfortunately, that's just the sad world that we live in. And Connor, whilst we're on the point of negativity, could you please explain to me why Jack Butland got booked and why St Mirren got a free kick? Because maybe it is a booking, maybe it is a free kick, but I honestly can't sit here with a straight face and say, aye, the referee got that right. That was mental.
That was barmy, absolutely barmy. Just because I like to have a cheap plug, by the way. I agree with your point on media, and if anybody's not seen it, by all means go back and watch our extended podcast all about the Scottish football media. It was a great pod, if I do say so myself. I think I don't know what the ref's doing, because at first it looks like he's let it go, and initially looks like he's made the right decision, and for whatever reason he turns back and decides, no, it's a free kick. Now, thankfully that free kick went nowhere, but can you imagine if they score that free kick and we end up, for as poor as we were at times in that performance, and we end up dropping points off the back of that decision? I mean, genuinely, at first, the way the referee had pulled it back, I was actually worried he was going to send him off, because I thought, don't tell me he's going to. And then when you see it back in the replay as well, Butland clears the ball about 4 or 5 seconds before Olisanya runs into him. Butland can't move anywhere. He's in midair, and Olisanya runs into him. It's a coming together. It's nothing more. It doesn't, the first angle you might think, he caught him with his knee. He doesn't actually catch him with his knee. It's sort of just that he's side and maybe just the arm that he catches him. I think Olisanya makes a bit of a meal of it, if I'm being honest with you. He's been caught, but I don't think he's been caught to the degree where he's lying on the ground and, on come the physios rushing on and all the rest of it. I think that's a spectacle designed to try and get into the head of Nick Walsh, because I don't even know if it was necessarily a head knock. So it's bizarre. If you're going to book players for that, and I know we say this on a regular basis, and obviously elder statesmen like Kerr are never done saying it, but the game's finished if you're giving bookings like that. It really is. That's a nonsense. And thankfully, it didn't cost us today, but I have no idea what Nick Walsh is thinking there. And they done the same. I can't think it was just after that or just before that. There was another one as well where I think, is it Stelling, I think it might be, or Diamande, one of the two, clears the ball, out for a corner kick, and then they're pausing the game going, they're checking for a penalty. What? For what? It's nonsense. And it just creates an anxiety that you don't need as a football fan watching that game on the telly, because you've already got it with the way the performance has gone, and you're thinking, just get on with the game. It's a nonsense. It really is.
So, Connor, you're trying to say it wasn't as bad as Harold Schumacher's challenge in 1982 World Cup?
I mean, he nearly sent that boy's head into the opposition goal, and he still only got a booking for it.
I never said
that. Magic sponge, you know what I mean?
Back in the days when the magic sponge was actually magic and it wasn't the coffee. Back then. Right, we're going to wrap up shortly, Kerr, but we've got a super chat from our very own Craig. So I'm going to bring this to you because you mentioned it earlier, right? Realistically, how many need to be gone in the summer? Now, I'm guessing by realistically, Craig means how many do you actually think the club will get rid of in the summer in order for us to be competitive next season? Because it's not going to be a case of the 11, 12, 13 players that everybody is hoping for. I wouldn't think so anyway.
No, it won't be. And some are still tied in their contracts, like Connor Goss and Tav. So unless the club's willing to buy and pay them the money, they're going to stay, because in the day it's a job. And if I was getting paid a hefty amount, nobody would force me out unless I was going somewhere else for the same amount or more. So I'd probably say all the out of contract players should be let go. Nobody should be taken back, and then they can work it from there. Hopefully get some bids, but all the ones out of contract shouldn't be offered any new deals, and they can work it for there, because how many is out of contract? 6, 7? And that's a good wage bill. With Lundstrom's wage, Roof's wage, that's a good amount. And then obviously the boys on loan, Silva, Sima, that's more money. So, and then work it for there. Obviously you want more. You want more away, but unless people are going to buy them and in the contract, they're going to still be at the club, because financially we can't overspend, because we've not got the money, and he's already spent some in Diamande, so he's going to have to try and bring some money in as well. So everybody out of contract should be the first ones away, and then he just has to work it from there.
I mean, I can see a few people in the comments. I don't think anybody should be surprised about what's happening in Dundee. And I know that the camera might have panned to Gordon Strachan and he wasn't sure whether to celebrate or be raging. I think he was a wee bit confused. But nobody should be worried or whatever what's going to happen in Dundee. We all know what the score's going to be in Dundee today. So just finally then, Connor, I've titled this one "We Won, but we need to be better" for the next 4 games. I didn't put for the next 4 games, and otherwise it took people half an hour to read the title. But can we be better than what we were today, or are you worried that this team just doesn't have it in them up any sort of level?
Well, I mean, we can be better. I've seen us be better at points in the season, but I question whether we've got the ability, whether the team's got the mentality, because the ability's there, but whether we've got the mentality to do that between now and the end of the season, I severely question, because this isn't just a one-off game where you put in a bit of poor performance, but you've got to win. This is now the 3rd league game on the bounce, And if we're being honest, even last week against Hearts in the semi-final, again, job done. Certainly, I think it was a better performance last week against Hearts, but Hearts were poor in that game as well, which allowed us to perform better. And I think, 3 games in a row in the league, poor performances today. Again, at one point, didn't look like we were going to get the 3 points. Thought it was going to be yet more drop points. I mean, it has got to be better. I'm hoping that maybe getting a game at home next week will help that, because to be fair, since we played them at Parkhead. It's been, 3 away games in the bounce with a game at a neutral venue thrown in between. So, not
We
to say
we played them at Ibrox.
and that's what I said. Since we played them at Ibrox, we've had 3.
See, you said Parkhead, but so you can't be going and getting that rank, Connor. Come on now.
I thought I said Ibrox. Yes, we
No.
played them at Ibrox and we've had 3 away games in the bounce. That doesn't help either. And I do think that it's a discussion for another pod, but I do think that the way that the fixtures get scheduled towards the end of the season certainly have weighed heavily in their favour because they've had more home games. We've only got, I think, after Kilmarnock, 1 more game at home and the rest are away. So it's tough. That being said, we should still be beating teams like Ross County and Dundee. I mean, County got Winston yesterday and get turned over, so that just makes it worse for us. But I think we can be better if we can get ourselves into that mentality we had when we were chasing earlier in the season that got us to the top of the table for that brief period of time. If we can get that mentality back in, absolutely. And then you go to Parkhead and you let the chips fall where they will. You go there with no fear and you just go for it because you can turn the season.
In one game? Yeah, but I'm probably old school a bit like Kerr. I don't care what the fixtures are. If you're not good enough to go and beat Ross County or Dundee, then,
Martin, these players have an underdog mentality, not got a winner's mentality. They don't mind getting into a game no favourites because they're happy with that, but if they get into a game favourites, they don't like it. And the reason is because we made the 2 games in hand. We all sat here and thought, once these 2 games are over, we were 2 points clear. And look what happened. The players shot the bed, and it's not the first time they've done it. I know better last time they'd do it.
I agree. Unfortunately, I agree. So this has been an extremely positive reaction to a win, folks. So thank you very much for tuning in. And just the sentiments of Mick Shagger. I didn't know that Alan McGregor was a member, but however, a member for 3 months. Thank you very much for your support. I'll take the win, but we must do better. I think that's really what we all take away from today. So, it's not over. And I will try and say that with a bit more oomph over the next few weeks, but it's not over yet. There's still a lot to play for. And you even see Martin letting chips fall. Why do folk always mention chips about me? I can't stand them. But we are back tomorrow night, 7:30 for the phone in. That's your chance to get your thoughts across about the weekend's action or just anything Rangers that you want to talk about. And Connor, I believe that there's a Scottish football show tonight.
There is indeed 7:30. It will be Davey in the hot seat. Myself and Kerr will be there. Bumper special reviewing all the games and a wee special thing plug in as well.
There you go. So catch that. Tonight I will speak to Carl, Wilf, Laura and Brian and see when the next women's show is going to get done. Obviously the Rangers women over the weekend get into the Scottish Women's Cup final where they will take on Hearts. So there's a lot going on. I will find out exactly what's happening with the women's show and I will keep it all on the community page and on YouTube and across all socials. So like, share, follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff, folks. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, we'll speak to you all very, very soon.